All right, what is going on, everybody on YouTube? Just making sure. All right, what's going on, everybody on YouTube? Griffin here, coming back to you guys with another stream. In today's video, we are going to be talking about, of course, your questions, whatever questions you all may have. I have some of your all's questions that you've asked in the comments of some videos and stuff. We continue, of course, to get dozens of new of you all following the channel. Joining our Discord group chat, Facebook, all that good stuff. And with that comes a lot of questions. So, of course, going to be diving into those, answering questions we have. And then, of course, if you have any questions and you're joining this stream live, I always keep the chat pulled up here. For those of you that'll be tuning in for the first time and don't know how these Q&As work, you can ask any question at any time in these live chats. I have it pulled up all the time, that way I can answer your question right there on the spot. And then if we've already addressed it, I'll let you know that we've already addressed it, in the video. You can scroll back and listen, and I'll even hit on it still a little bit as well, just give you kind of a summary of that answer essentially. But before we get going, I just want to make sure everything is working all right. It looks like everything is. We got a couple of you joining already, so we'll just go ahead and hop right in. And by the way, if you're not following me already on TikTok, well, first, if you're not following on YouTube, why aren't you by now? Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon. That way you won't miss any of these live streams or any other future content. But if you're not on TikTok, on our TikTok yet, we're trying to get to 1,000 followers over there. That way we can go live on TikTok as well. Just because I know a lot of you guys tend to use TikTok instead of YouTube anymore. Link directly to my profile should be in the bio of this, as well as most videos at this point. We're getting close to that 1,000, so once we hit that, we'll be going live over there as well, which I think will be exciting for a lot of you guys. Plus, I do some TikTok specific content. Today's also went up on YouTube as well, but we do have a video up there, a couple of them, I think 1 or 2 videos on TikTok so far that are like TikTok exclusive. So we're doing some YouTube exclusive, TikTok exclusive content, so definitely want to be over there. But with that, as I got super dry eye today, we'll just go ahead and get right in. And like I said, ask your questions away in the chat there, and I'll get to those as I can. The first question is kind of a two-part question. Guy Z asked this about a week ago. He said, how did you start with your marketing? Did you start with door-to-door, cold calling, etc., USPS, next door neighbor program? I feel like these are the cheapest but most time-consuming and most difficult. And I answered his question, in the comments there. And he also asked, do you have, a video on how I learned to price our services? Which that's the question I'm really going to be hitting, because not many of you all have asked about this. He said, have I made a video about how I price my services and all that? I can do mosquito, and we'll be able to do termites, and we'll try to do more. So I'll just kind of answer that question first, and then we'll talk about, different marketing. Of course, we focus on Google Ads a lot, but we'll focus first and foremost on pricing the services. So if you ask a bunch of people this question, you're probably going to get a bunch of different answers, in all honesty. I even tell people a lot of times, sometimes especially early on, I felt like I was kind of just pulling a number out of thin air. Now we kind of have it more condensed to, not necessarily like cookie cutter or anything like that. We still have packages where, like, if people want pest control, termite control, rodent prevention, like with bait station, stuff like that, we can make like bundle packages as well. That's where it tends to get a little more, creative. That's where we get more creative with, discounts and, are they going to be paying a year up front, or are they going to be paying 2 years up front? Usually it's just a year up front, if anything, or are they going to want to do month-to-month billing? That's where it can really get kind of, convoluted, I guess might be the word I'm looking for, just very different. Now, in terms of, just general pest services and stuff, we do have, most of you all know by now, I have a tool on my website directly where our customers can go on there and, say what they're looking for, get a quote within 60 seconds, And pretty much what that consists of essentially is, what type of service are you looking for? Most are looking for like a quarterly service. And then of course, and this is literally how we price these, so you all know, how big is your home? Average home is usually 1,000 to 2,000 square foot. And then of course, what is your zip code? We'll just put in, a nearby zip code. We'll go ahead and fill this out as if, I'm a customer already, or not already, but, just get this instant price thing. It's going to make me put in a number. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's see if that works. Okay. So it'll load up there. It'll say, boom, there you go. Your instant price is $34. That's, the monthly rate essentially. And then it says, of course, please note that the monthly price quote does not include initial services, which start at $99. Call to confirm your initial service fee. So from there, of course, schedule service, they call, whatever the case may be. But that's the whole point, is you want to get it dialed in to where okay, how much am I charging per square footage of a home? Do I want to charge for every 1,000 square feet? Do I want to charge for every 2,000 square feet, et cetera, et cetera? That's how we do it personally. That's how it tends to be the easiest, where you're not going to have one person with a 1,500 square foot home paying the same price as a person with a 4,000 square foot home. It's the most, fair for the customer, fair for the business, and, you don't have your prices just kind of all over the place. I worked for a big national company when I first got started, and I had a home that was no bigger than about 1,800 square foot. They were paying $200 a quarter. And then I'd have customers who, they were in I wouldn't say a mansion, but solid $500,000, probably today $1 million home that, they were paying $100 a quarter, $120 a quarter. It just made no sense. It felt like a lot of time, salesmen are just pulling these numbers out of their ass essentially, where with us, we like to have it to where it makes the most sense for the customer. It makes the most sense for us. Once we hire technicians here this summer, makes sense for the technician. They're not like, they don't even think, what are we doing here? We're wasting money. And then of course, it just makes all around sense at the end of the day. So that is how we price it. We could go down the list one by one. How do we price termite? How do we price rodent? We'd be here all day just answering that question alone. Usually you're going to start, regardless of what service it is, you're going to start from the square footage of the home, and then, work your way from there. Obviously termite, you measure the linear footage of the home, and, you price it based on the linear footage. We tend to price ours, depending on how busy the season it is. We'll price it anywhere, as low as about $5 to $6 a linear foot, to as high as, $12 a linear foot. Depends on how busy we are, how much drilling is involved, how extensive, of a treatment is it going to be. Are we going to be doing a lot of, inside work, a lot of drilling, that kind of thing. It can get, very expensive very quickly depending on a bunch of factors. But like I said, hopefully that kind of answers that question. And if you have any other questions about that, Guy Z, then you can definitely, follow up that question as well. And to your point about marketing, like I answered in his comment, I told him, I did door hangers. We had minor success with that. We did Google local services, which we still have. And now we focus, like we talk about a lot now, Google Ads specifically, and then focusing on, local SEO, website SEO, all of that good stuff. Hopefully our stream is doing all right. Hopefully, if you guys have any questions, of course, shout it out there in the chat. I'm messing around with live stream time, seeing which time works best for you guys. I'll probably post a poll about that later today. It seems like usually the later in the evening, the better it is for you guys to join live. But of course, if you have any questions, just ask it there in the chat. The next question came from JM Pest Solutions. And again, I kind of answered him in the comments as well. He said, let's see, wanted to pick your brain. Are you using Stripe for your processor? And yeah, Stripe is who we use for our payment processing. If you don't know what Stripe is a very known payment processing platform. We can look them up here. A lot of you all have probably heard of them by now. But just to go over, they're one of the biggest companies. They're very stable, over 8,000 employees now. I've had the same CEO for over a decade now. Very big company, multi-billion-dollar company. They are overseas, which can make it kind of annoying whenever you're processing payments, because it's like after, I want to say 5 or 6 p.m. Central Time, when you start processing payments later in the evening, they will actually process as the next day because of where they are located. That's the only downside, but they are one of the most professional payment processing companies on the market. That's who we use, simply because how well it integrates with Gorilla Desk. It makes it to where we can literally do everything, the work order, the invoice, monthly billing, automatic billing, subscription billing, however you want to phrase it, all of that all in one place essentially. Plus they have, they have really good analytic charts. You can see all of the different analytics and stuff, which is very nice to see. I would log in, but I haven't logged in a while, and I don't know all the information it shows. Otherwise, I would log in. We'll probably do some kind of tutorial, like overall look at the Stripe dashboard, because it's different on your desktop, laptop versus on your phone. The phone is very limited. You can do all your processing. You can look at a lot of analytic stuff on there as well, but on the desktop, you're able to see a lot more, and we'll probably do a video about that in the future so you all can get a good look at the Stripe platform. And it's not that expensive either. I want to say for roughly every $100 that we do in sales, they take maybe right around $3, roughly right around $3 essentially. So you're talking roughly 3% overall. Of course, if you have to refund somebody, you're eating that fee, or if somebody, reports a dispute or something like that, you have to eat those fees a lot too, even if you win the dispute. Like, we had someone who disputed on accident. He was like, I totally forgot, that was my bad, I was going through expenses, thought this was BS, like I didn't remember this at all, but now that you called me and we discussed it, I do remember. You still have to eat the fee even if it wasn't your fault, which kind of sucks, but part of doing business at the end of the day, you can't write it off as well, so it's not the end of the world. But overall, I can't complain about Stripe. I was using Square before Stripe. I like Stripe so much more. That's just my personal preference. There's really not a huge difference between the two. I just like Stripe a lot more. I use both. I use Square the first, I want to say about 45 days or so we were in business. After that, we switched immediately over to Stripe, and we switched over to Gorilla Desk, and the rest was history. So hopefully that answers his question as well. How's it going, my world? Stream's good. Awesome. Love to hear it. Yeah, I switched rooms. My brother is now moved out into his own place, so I got my office back in the house, which we have slightly better service in here, thankfully. Let's see. Home Secure. This was about 10 days ago on our video about how I advertise my pest control business using Google Ads and Facebook. Home Secure asks, does Facebook ads give better leads than compared to Google Ads for pest control businesses? And I'll read you all my answer, which is pretty much, what I was gonna say here regardless. I just said from my experience, no. I've heard, in a few owner groups that, they love Facebook ads. We primarily just receive likes, follows, and an occasional lead here and there, which is pretty spot on. I think I even talked about this in a previous Q&A, maybe, a month or so ago, whenever we were doing a Facebook ad. It's more so for us brand recognition. I like posting content on there, either a video, a picture like with my face, with me wearing my shirt, company logo, stuff where people are gonna see it, remember it, they see our truck out in the field, or they think they need pest control, anything, we're gonna be the one that they think about more than anything. That's what brand recognition is. You want to be the company, you want to be the Terminix, the Orkin, etc. You want to be the authority for your area. Of course, people are going to know Terminix, Orkin, yada, 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 off the top of their head, just because they pump millions of dollars in advertising. They're all over YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, your TV stations, they're everywhere, of course. So, of course, those you're never going to knock off, but you want to be at least your local authority. You can control, your local authority within, a solid 10-mile reach, roughly, just like with your, Google Map Pack. You can reach up to about 10 miles, 5 to 10 miles within your branch location, office location, wherever your location is. Same idea with Facebook, in terms of the money you're going to be spending. You can spend very little money and put your ad in front of people 2, 3, 4, 5 times relatively quickly, or if you want, you can spread it out. But obviously, the more that you repeatedly get in front of those people, the more they're going to remember you in their subconscious, which is what you're going for ultimately with brand recognition ads. And that's all that we really use Facebook for. Like I said, to home secure, and the response there, we get a lead here and there, but we're not really looking for leads. If we get leads, cool. We're looking primarily for 2 things: brand recognition and website traffic. That's what we're primarily looking for. Of course, with website traffic, a lot of times will come leads, or phone call, form submitted leads, and then phone call leads, etc. But the main thing we're really doing personally with Facebook ads is brand recognition. It's very cheap, still surprisingly, for Facebook ads, and that's what we tend to do. And then Google ads is where, of course, we spend the bulk of our money for lead acquisition. This may vary in terms of location, like I mentioned in that. I have pest control owners and a pest control owner group that I am in, things called bug bucks, where people swear by Facebook ads and they hate Google ads. I think it's definitely, location, and probably at different kinds of expertise. I'm pretty good with Google ads. I may not have as strong of a, presence in terms of my knowledge within Facebook ads, because they're 2 totally different beasts at the end of the day. I tend to be more successful with Google ads in my area. Somebody may be more successful with Facebook ads, or somebody might be more successful with TikTok ads even. So, it's hard to say at the end of the day. I know for my area in East Texas, North Texas, Google ads tends to work best for lead acquisition. Facebook, all the social media type of stuff, it's best for brand recognition. So hopefully that helps. Let's see. Are You Real? That's a funny name, by the way. Are You Real asked on one of my first pest control videos, the how I grew my pest control business to a 6-figure business in less than 2 years. Are You Real asks, curious what software you use for field service management, and then he said, edited, I saw the video where you featured Gorilla Desk. Is that what you use? And correct, yes, we do use Gorilla Desk. Gorilla Desk, in my opinion, is the best platform for small businesses. Essentially, we can pull up Gorilla Desk really quick here. Let's see. I wanted to show you guys what I mean by that. So what I mean by small to medium-sized businesses is, as you can see here, we're on the Pro account. That's $99 a month. And no, again, I'm not associated with them. They don't give me kickbacks or anything like that, though I'm definitely open to it if they want to, give me a discount or something for promoting them. As you can see here, they will allow up to 75 users right now. So that's a pretty good sized company. I mean, with 75 users, technicians, essentially, you have a pretty good sized company at that point. You probably have at least 100 employees at the minimum, maybe even more, maybe 150. It's hard to say. I'm not at that level yet. Of course, I'm just going based off of rough numbers of what I'm thinking once I get to like 5 employees, because at that point, we're going to have a CSR, maybe even a service manager. If I'm not the acting service manager at that point, just based on numbers that I'm doing with 75 technicians, you're probably looking at a bare minimum of probably 125, 150 employees. So you're talking a pretty good sized business, and as you can see here, it's $3,800 a month, tons of features, and there's more than just this. In all honesty, they're cutting themselves short with everything that they offer. As you see, they have routing for over 24 stops. Hopefully you're not running your technicians into the ground like that, but they do offer that, and by routing, I mean, they will literally take the stops that you put on a day and they will route it to, you can even do more than a day. You could say, okay, we have 150 stops that need to be done this week over the next 5 days. Here's all these stops, route it for me. I want, let's see, we said 150 stops, so we're gonna want what would that be, 20 stops a day? No, 15, I don't know, somewhere around 15, 20 stops a day. We're going to start our day at this time. We're going to end it at this time. Make the route for me. And it'll literally route your entire route for the whole week for you with drive time and everything included in there. You can add buffers in there, like if you want a buffer in time for a lunch, or just life happening, you're going to spend probably 20 minutes longer at certain customers, whatever the case may be. You can add those buffers in there. Very, very good routing optimizer in there that I love. Stripe subscriptions, of course, like we were talking about, it integrates great with Stripe. They have tons of documents with e-signatures. Rating review generator that I love, because as soon as you complete the work order, it'll send a Google review request right to the customer's email. The online portal, all the basic features as well, with material tracking, all of your good stuff that comes on the basic plan. And for that price, if you're at 75 technicians, you're probably not even worried about the price. First of all, you probably are. Of course you want to be smart about it, but $3,800 a month for that many users. And then of course, if you want to pay it yearly, that's even less. Let's pull the calculator up here. I think it comes out to like 1 month for free, essentially. Let's see, 41,789 divided by 75 technicians. That comes out to what? 557. I did something wrong. I did my math wrong. Monthly, so 33. Oh, I meant to divide it by 12 months. I was dividing it by technicians for some reason. 41,789 divided by 12 comes out to 3,400. So you're saving what, like $318 a month? That's pretty damn good. Not bad at all. So definitely, like I said, if you can get to that point where you're paying per year, it's definitely worth it. However, either way, it's a very good platform for, up until the point where you're, so big that they just can't support it anymore. But off of that soapbox, hopefully that answered his question. And then let's see, was there any other questions? Oh yeah, Antonio Irvin asked, this was about 2 weeks ago on one of our other live streams once it published. He said, why do I have to renew a limited fertilizer license if I am a certified pest control operator? So this, and like I told him, I was like, this is a very complicated question just because everything is very different state by state. So I know in the state of Texas, for example, everything is so broken up that, the limited fertilizer license is totally different from general pest control licensing, pest and termite licensing. So that's why, even though you renewed your pest control licensing, you're going to have to renew that. I think for us, it's like lawn and ornamental. I don't know if that falls under lawn and ornamental or not. Limited fertilizer. I believe that falls under our Texas Department of Agriculture lawn and ornamental, but just for, the example's sake, they're two separate licenses, so you're going to have to renew this license and this license. Just like with pest control, we got to renew our pest and termite. If you only renew pest, you're no longer certified in termite. So I hope that makes sense. And I think that's pretty much for the last week or so. Yeah, that's it for the last week or so. And like I said, of course, if you all have any questions as we start to dive in to our Google ad update, just shout it out there in the chat and I'll answer it, as soon as I can. And with that, we will go ahead and dive right into the Google ad stuff. So as you can see, we still got this bad boy set at about $50 a day. Nothing, too crazy or anything. Our optimization score is still hovering right around 70%. So we're not really worried about that, which, like I keep mentioning to you guys, this optimization score and all these different, little things that they tell you should do. Some of it, you definitely want to at least take a look at it, but don't let it consume you essentially. You don't want this to be at 100%, 90%, anything high. Usually it means you're getting screwed, in all honesty. Cost per click is probably going to be very low. However, the quality of click is usually going to be very bad. So always keep that in mind. Like you all can see, ever since we have edited our ad about 2 weeks ago now, and it got it pretty optimized, our CTR has been going up. Our clicks, of course, have dropped. Our average cost per click has gone up, but we have been getting a lot more leads and a lot more quality leads as well out of that. You can see down here, for example, these are our top searches in words within searches people saw your ads. Best pest control near me, 7 impressions, 2 clicks. Pest control, 57 impressions, 2 clicks. Pest control near me, 47 impressions, 2 clicks. Termite treatment, that popped up under the keyword termite and pest control. 5 impressions, 2 clicks. That's 40% CTR, which, by the way, we quoted a job this past week. I'm pretty sure we got it. I need to follow up with the guy tomorrow morning, but I'm pretty sure we got it. That's going to be like a $1,450 job, I believe. And then I even threw in a little curveball, offered him a year of pest control for just an additional $200 for his first year. So, that could end up being about a $1,600 to $1,700 sale. That pays for like a whole month of Google ads, essentially. Let's see, Addison Pest Control, 4 impressions, 1 click, 1 impression, 1 click, which that one I did not want to show up for, which you can see right there. This search has been excluded. Best Pest Control, all of these are ones we want to be showing up for outside of the rodent one, which we removed that. So like I said, overall we are starting to get this ad very dialed in. Our CTR is hovering around 4%. That's since we had the major edit to where we did mostly exact keywords. You can see we're pretty much only fighting with Terminix at this point for the overall, what do you want to call it, impression share. They're the only ones that we're really, we're pretty damn close. We're within about 5% of them. So not very much to complain about with this ad so far. And of course you got your heat map showing, where most of your clicks are coming from. You can see this 243, we got 3 clicks, 2 clicks, 1 click, a bunch of zeros still. These are more of our, rural areas. We're not really expecting to get a whole lot of clicks out here. And of course, Rowlett, where our location is, we're not running the ad because we get a lot of free leads from there. So why pay for it at the end of the day? What else? Oh yeah, the updates that we did. So the updates that we did this week were, trying to get it pulled up here. The overall ones that we did, it may be under ads and assets. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. So underneath ads, you can see here, this is the best one that, is like our, best overall performer. It's pretty much the only one that's showing. It says save $50 on pest control, get the best pest control, or not get, the best pest control company, get your instant quote, yada, yada, yada. If we go into, let's see, I might have to edit our time frame to this past week. Let's see. So you can see our cost per click went down. The last 7 days, our cost went down as well. Clicks, of course, dropped with it. But the good thing that I like here is we have a 10 or pretty much 10% difference between our cost to our clicks. So we're plus 10% in terms of cost to click ratio. So I will take that for sure, which is, why it makes sense. Our average cost per click is down 13%. That's about, that plus 10% that we were talking about. I'm trying to find where my actual, maybe it's the ad variations. I don't know where my stuff is. Let's see. Change history. Let this guy load up here. Alright. So, let's see. March. Okay, here we go. So, you can see we did like one of their recommendations, which was improve the response ad. I wonder if it was going to show. There we go. So, you can see here where we added some text. This just gives the ad essentially variations to go off of. What that means essentially is, say someone goes into Google and just types in, pest control. Then what you see right here, if I can find a good ad for an example, or I guess we can go based off of mine. So where it says save $50 on pest control, that is what it's referring to when you see like what I put in here. So for example, you see it says $50 off cockroach control, $50 off carpenter ant service, voted best pest control company in 2022, pest and termite control. We edited some of that. It recommended us improve it, and that's what we did essentially. It did not give these recommendations. I came up with those personally for the ad because I wanted to add in a couple things based on what people were searching, because again, you want to please Google. You want to please that algorithm. When the algorithm is telling you, hey, your ad is showing up for cockroach control, carpenter ant treatment. Okay, if that's what our ad is showing up for and that's what people are searching, let's gear our ad more towards those searches, because that's of course, assuming that's what you want those searches, then, how can we make, carpenter ant service sound better? Okay, well, what sounds better than, okay, $50 off a carpenter ant service? So, you got to get creative with that. This is the type of stuff that, ChatGPT and all that right now is not capable of doing. That's why, people are always talking about content creators losing jobs, advertisers losing jobs, this and that. The only ones that are going to lose their jobs are bad ones at the end of the day, because if you know what you're doing, there's certain stuff that ChatGPT just is not able to do currently. May it someday? Maybe. I love ChatGPT. It works for a lot of things. For ads and stuff like that, you still got to be very creative with that stuff. So that was the main one there. And then of course you can see we added, like I always mention to you guys, you need to be going in here periodically and adding in, negative keywords. You can see negative, just all the way down through there. You can see on it was March 23rd specifically, which I believe was that Thursday? That was when we had some. And then we even paused some, which, we're pretty much removing them. We're pausing them just because, just in case if we want to click them on. If we don't decide we want to click them on at any point, we just go ahead and remove them. But either way, we went through there again like we do at least twice a week on average. And, make our negative keyword updates, pause keywords and all that, key phrases, all that stuff as well. So you can see, the last 2 weeks, we made 36 changes, which seems like a lot, but that's really not, because like I said, the main thing, like you all seen, is negative keywords being added. I mean, by the time you get your ad super dialed in, for example, let's look at just the last week roughly. So 31 plus changes. The biggest one was that again, and then a bunch of keywords, where if we go back to, let's just say the beginning of the month, 294 changes overall. So you can see, let's see, I was trying to see if we could do changes. Apparently we can't do it based on changes. But look at that, 292 keyword changes. So that's usually the main thing overall. All of that was primarily very early on in the ad. That's why I stressed to you all so much. If you want to speed up the process of getting your Google ad dialed in, that first week and a half, you really need to be checking that thing at least, personally, I check it once a day the first week or so. And then usually after about a week and a half to 2 weeks, you can start checking it, a couple times a week, depending on, again, are you running it every day, 7 days a week? Are you running it 3 or 4 days a week? If you're only running it 3 or 4 days a week, again, that first week and a half, 2 weeks, I would check it every day, once in the afternoon, once the ad schedule has ran its course and, all the searches have populated and all that stuff. I would check it once a day the first week or two. And then from there, you can get away if you're only running it like 3 days a week, Monday through Wednesday, Wednesday through Friday, whatever the case may be. Then you can get to the point where you're checking it like once or twice a week. And then from there, once the ad's really dialed in, to where there's very little changes happening in terms of search phrases that you're showing up under, not a lot of changes going on, once a week is fine. If you're doing it like us right now, we're doing 4 days a week, which we're debating dialing that back to 3 days a week. Still to be determined on that. Still haven't gotten enough information yet, which I'll show you guys in a second on what I mean by that in terms of if it's worth it to do so. But if you're running it at least 4 or 5 days a week, again, still check it every day, once a day that first week or two. And then after that, I would check it probably 2 or 3 times a week. And then again, once you get it super dialed in to where there's very little changes going on, again, once or twice a week is probably enough, to be honest. And with that, what I was just mentioning in terms of we haven't seen enough changes lately to warrant making big changes was, if we go over here, and we go down here to the day and hour. So as you can see here, this is based on the last 2 weeks again, since we've really started to get this ad kind of dialed into where we want it. You can see here Thursday, for example, our CTR between 3 to 4 p.m. on Thursday is 25%. It's pretty good. And 6 1/4, 9, 9 1/2, so pretty much any time after 11 a.m. on Thursday, the ad's doing pretty good. Now, does this mean I need to be running it from 8 a.m. all the way through the day? Probably not. I should probably look at starting it around 11 a.m. and then cutting it off around 5 p.m., 4 to 5 p.m. roughly, at least based off of this current data. Now, again, all of this is still kind of, it takes a while. The more you spend, again, it's all about money, of course, at the end of the day. Money and time. You have to have one or the other. If you have a lot of money, you can speed this whole process up of figuring out what times are working best. If you don't have a lot of money, then it's going to take more time, of course. So since we're only running about $50 a day, it's probably going to take another 2 weeks until we really have a good idea on which days, which time frames for days, etc., are paying us the most in terms of our CTR, conversion rate, all of that good stuff. For example, Monday between 8 to 10 a.m. isn't too bad. We're around 9% CTR over those 2 hour periods, where, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're at flat 0%. So where, every day almost outside of Wednesday and a little bit on Tuesday, almost every hour between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. is, getting some kind of activity. But again, we still have some blank squares here where we want to see kind of how that develops, because we know it's not going to stay at 0% or anything. The main thing is, of course, if you get a bunch of clicks early on and you're paying, in our case, $25 a click essentially, and you're only allowing $50 a day, well, after a click or 2 or 3 at the most, you're going to be tapped out for the day. So of course Google isn't going to, just keep running your ad and, running up impressions on it. Otherwise you're going to get a lot of clicks and, go over your daily limit that you set in place. So, like I said, it's a process. The more money you have available, the better, the quicker everything is going to go. And I'm even debating upping ours to about $75 to $100 a day, just because of the results that we are getting from this ad now. We seem to have it dialed in pretty well. I'll definitely update you guys in Discord and the Facebook group and all that stuff if we end up updating that. But yeah, that's the main thing that we're really focusing on now that we've got our keywords and all that stuff really dialed in. We're showing up under excellent search terms. I couldn't ask for better search terms for us to be showing up under. CTRs are looking pretty freaking amazing, in all honesty, for the ones that we're wanting to show up for. I might need to make some edits for like how many of them that we have. Like I said, we got a bunch of them paused right now. But I might want to make an edit to like how many of them we have, just because, again, based on our budget, we need to allocate it wisely towards, which search terms are we specifically wanting to show up for that are getting the most searches. For example, termite treatment. I mean, obviously we want to show up under that. Addison Pest Control, that has 4 impressions for 1 click. Let's see, where is Addison Pest Control? Or what did it show up under, I should say? Addison Pest Control. So that was Pest Control Addison. Let's see. Pest Control Addison, where are you at? I probably already passed it. Let's see. I bet I did. Let's see. So where are you at? Pest Control Addison. Oh, it was on page 1. So look at that. It was $32 for a click for that. Now, again, while I like showing up for that term, would it be smarter for me to, again, there was only, where's it at? Damn it. There was only 4 impressions so far over the last 2 weeks for that. So would I be better off putting my money at Pest Control Near Me, which has gotten 47 impressions, lower CTR, was that about, so did Pest Control Near Me, where's that? So about 3.5% to 4%, but look at the cost there. We're only paying about $20.50 for the click, so about a $12 difference in cost per click. That's a huge difference. So this is where you really have to start getting very analytical. We're starting to get to this point now where in terms of our tweaks, we're going to be very methodical with how we do it. We're going to start dissecting, okay, what's getting the most impressions, what's not getting a lot of impressions, and what's costing us the most per click. Again, making sure we're getting the most out of our money. You can have too many keywords. I want to stress that. You can have too many keywords. Right now, God, my throat's so dry. Right now, we have, I wouldn't say way too many keywords, but we do have too many. Like, that's the next phase of our editing of this Google ad, is we want to narrow down, the keywords that we're showing up under. That way we are getting the most out of our money. Like we just dissected right here within a quick, 1 to 2 minute dissecting of this ad. We saw how we could potentially save at least about $12 per click just by, allocating the money that was going towards impressions under Addison Pest Control to, Pest Control Near Me. So that's kind of where we're at with this ad right now. Like I said, overall, I'm pretty impressed with it overall. Like I said, we're getting some very, very good quality leads in. Now we're just getting to that fine-tuning phase. Just getting this ad to perfection. We're hitting the stride right at perfect timing. We're getting towards that last week of March already. So busy season, is getting in full swing this week. We're supposed to be in the upper 60s, 70s, and low 80s all week in Dallas. We got like 1 or 2 chances of rain, so we're getting into that termite swarm season. We still got rodents, squirrels, nesting season going on. We're starting to exit nesting season, but we're having the babies, start growing up, so they're hearing a lot of noises in the attic. We're getting into that perfect season, and our ad is starting to kind of get into that perfect form essentially right as we get going here. So I'm very excited for how this ad's going to perform over the coming weeks. Give you all an overall little cost analysis since we started this ad. I forget what day it was. Was it early March or maybe it was sooner? Might have been end of February. Let's see. Yeah, it must have been the end of February. Yeah, it was the end of February. That's right. Or no, it was earlier. When the hell did we start it? Because we had our $500 Google coupon thing that came in the mail. Damn. Oh, that's right. We had a cockroach ad. Let's go actually to the home page. So overall, because we did have another Google ad, in full transparency, like I didn't really do a lot of work on that ad. I pulled the plug on it very early on because I went all in on this ad specifically. So if we're looking at overall complete cost analysis, we've spent just over $1,300. $500 of it was on Google because they gave us, one of those little coupon codes or whatever. So we've spent about $800, $830 total. However, from the ad that we are focusing on the most, which is this bad boy. If we get it pulled up here. Sometimes Google can be a pain to work. There we go. So since we started this ad, however, which started on Monday, February 20th, we have paid $1,060, we'll just call it $1,065 for this ad. And again, guys, I can't stress this enough. So we started this on the 20th, so it's been over a month now, about 5 weeks of running this ad. And like I just explained, we got a lead right now that, of course I don't want to count it because we haven't necessarily closed it yet. But as far as I know, it's all been sold. It's a termite treatment that we're going to do. It's going to be at least $1,450 plus the tax. So that's essentially going to literally cover the whole cost of this ad and then some. And that doesn't include, of course, all the other leads that we've received throughout the last 4 to 5 weeks since we've been running this ad. Of course, cost per click has been going up as we've dialed this ad in. You can see this is what I want you guys to focus on the most. Focus on the yellow line and red line, and specifically look at when the red line crosses with the blue line. So when did we have this cross first appear? It was right around March 8th, and then again when we made our biggest edit on right around March 13th to 15th, right around 13th, 15th was when we had that big edit. And you can see when our price per click shot up right around 8th through 9th. Then of course we have the weekend, and then again CTR, cost per click, surpassed the actual click number. So again, this goes to prove the theory that just because you're getting a bunch of clicks and your cost per click is low doesn't necessarily mean anything, because you could be getting a bunch of complete bullshit clicks that, okay, we only paid $7 per click, but we paid $70, or I can get 4 clicks that are quality clicks. Let's say one of them was shit, okay, so we had 3 quality clicks still, and we paid $92 to $95, so about the same price, but we got 3 quality clicks versus 9 out of 10 being shit, if not all 10, because in all honesty, we didn't get anything from this ad roughly, as far as I know, up until the beginning of March, if I'm being completely honest. I want to say right around the end of February, very end of February, early March was when we got our first little bit of activity on this lead. So again, it's definitely a process. Don't focus so much on your cost per click early on. If anything, be upset if it's too low. If you're paying, look at this, $5, $4. Like, yes, in theory, it sounds awesome. Cost per click being under $5, that sounds awesome, right? No. Now, there is such thing as paying too much. I can't stress that enough either. Like, there's a happy medium with this. You don't want to be paying obviously $70 per click or anything ridiculous like that. In all honesty, I don't like seeing mine getting over $30, $35, which, you know, we've been getting right up around there occasionally, a couple days here and there. But, you know, as long as we're staying under $40 a click, I'm not going to complain at all, because I know that I'm getting very quality clicks out of this ad. And the proof with that is the CTR. The fact that our CTR is outpacing the number of clicks we're getting for the most part. Meaning that, for example, we have 3 clicks to 9 on the CTR, 3 clicks to 12.5, 3.5 to 3, pretty much 1 to 1 there, 6% to 4. You know, once you have your CTR outpacing your clicks, that means that, you know, your ad is, like I've said in previous streams, doing pretty good overall. So if there's no questions or anything, hopefully the stream has been doing all right for you guys. Hopefully, you know, you all did get some valuable information from this stream. If you did, definitely make sure to smash that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it. It helps the video and helps the channel out tremendously. And if you've watched this whole thing and you're not subscribed already, definitely hit that subscribe button below. Hit the bell icon right beside it. That way you'll be notified every time we go live or upload another video. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, if you're not following on TikTok already, we have a goal to get to 1,000 followers. That way we can also go live and show this information to the people on TikTok as well, you know, doing live streams and stuff like that. TikTok isn't as good as YouTube, in my opinion, about the fact that, you know, these videos upload after they, you know, go live. Once you're done being live on TikTok, that's it. The content's, you know, gone essentially. But I know there's a lot of people that love watching the TikTok lives, and they're very good for like Q&As. You know, I'll have the phone set up where, you know, they can see the screen and they can ask questions just like you all do on here. It'll be very interactive, and I think it'll help everybody so much, especially from the Google Ads side of things specifically. So no, if there's no questions or anything, like I said, we'll probably be uploading at least one video this week. I know I slacked off this past week with uploading a video for the Google Ads series. I have a video that I'm going to post this week. Now that I got, you know, a little bit of privacy to do videos and stuff in my office, I'll do a video for the Google Ads series this week for you guys. Look for that to come out probably... probably sometime Wednesday is what I'm aiming for. I'll probably upload a short to give you guys an update about that at some point as well. Very useful info as always. Oh, I appreciate it, my world. I always appreciate to know that, you know, the information helps you all out big time. But yeah, I'll post a short about that as well. And then, like I said, I'll probably post like a poll for you guys as well, just to see, you know, what times work best for live streams and all that stuff as well. But with that, I'll go ahead and wrap the stream up. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We've had a lot of you guys subscribing of late. I think Google told me over the last 90 days, like over 125 of you or something like that have been following of late. So we're getting like over one person essentially per day subscribing to the channel. So that's always awesome to see. Appreciate you guys, you know, for all the support and whatnot. I do this stuff for free. I don't get paid. You know, YouTube doesn't pay me at all. Once you get to 1,000 subscribers, you can technically get paid, but you have to hit like 4,000 watch hours in a rolling 1 year period before you're eligible for like any kind of ad money or anything. So I'm literally doing all this for free. So it's just fun for me. I like, you know, interacting with you all, giving out information that I know I wish I had, because I know how it is on YouTube and on the internet. There's so much fluff, so much BS, so many marketers trying to sell you stuff. I guarantee you, if a marketer comes along and sees my content, they're going to be pissed and hoping that nobody sees it, because, you know, a lot of this stuff I've just self-taught. You know, like I tell you guys, I'm using my own money. You know, it is what it is. Either you learn, or, you know, you don't grow your business. So I'm just giving this information out for free, just because I wish somebody had done it for me. I know, like I said, there's some people out there that give out some good information as well. I learn information from people that do the same thing, and I appreciate them tremendously. But I know it's very hard to find you really have to dig deep on YouTube. They don't ever seem to push out good content. They always seem to push out the flashy sales content at the end of the day. So appreciate you all for tuning in. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed, we'd love to have you here. But until next time, guys, keep on hustling, keep on growing that business. Start your business if you haven't already. Get that LLC going. If you have any questions, shout it out in the chat or shout it out in the comments once the video uploads. And I'll see you all in the next video. Take it easy, everybody.